In this piano tutorial, I want to share my approach to the song My Testimony by Marvin Sapp, and I want to basically share some of the passing chords or chord substitutions used within this song. That way you guys can take the concept and apply them to other songs as well. So this song is in the key of A flat major, and the introduction sounds something like this. Okay, so this introduction is basically just cycling through the 4, the 5, and the 6, and occasionally uses the 7 and the 1 as a passing chord to get back to the 4. So what I mean by this is we start off with this melody basically, right? And it repeats again until it ends on the 6. But what I want to focus mostly on is the voicings used for the chords, right? So this 4 chord is a C sharp 6/9. And I really love this voicing because of how open it is. As you can see, the intervals between each of the notes is at least a fourth, okay? We have the C sharp, the 5th, and the 10th, or the 3rd. Then we have the 6 up here and the 9th up here, okay? And then we double up on the 6. That gives us the 4 chord. Then the 5 chord is simply an E flat major. Then we have an F minor chord, which we play as an F minor add 2. And I love this voicing because of the interval between the 2 and the minor 3rd, right? It gives us that dissonance almost in between the chord. And then, like I said in the beginning, we use the 7 and the 1 as a passing chord to get back to the 4 chord. So this is the 7, technically a 5/7, right? We have this E flat major with the add 2 over this 7, okay? And then we're using the 1 chord, and there's a couple of different ways of voicing this 1 chord. As you can see, it's a dominant chord because we're using it as a passing chord to get to the 4. Okay, so this dominant chord, I guess this would be the most complicated way of voicing it, right? The 1, the 5, the minor 7th, the 9th, the 3rd, again the 5th, and the 13th, right? To make it a little bit more simple, we can just play these 4 notes. And what I like doing is playing a grace note from the 9th to the 3rd, okay? So, or the 10th. So it would be 6, 7, 1, and then we're back to the 4 chord. And one substitution we can actually do for the 4 chord, or sort of a switch up of the extensions, right? Instead of playing a 6/9 right away, we can play this major 13, and all I did was switch these 2 notes for these 2 notes. And we can do something like that, right? I'll play it really slowly, right? And then we're back to the introduction. And like I said, the introduction ends on a 6, which is simply an F minor. But as you can see, I'm playing all 5 chords of the beginning of the F minor scale, right? The F, the G, the A flat, the B flat, and the C. And I really love this voicing for F minor. And there's actually two ways of playing it, right? We can include the minor 7 or leave it out. I prefer to leave it out because of how open it sounds and how pure it sounds to that F minor chord, right? It's not including this guide tone. But it's totally up to your preference if you decide to use it or not, okay? So we ended on that 6, and now we're going into the first verse. So glad I made it. It's a 4 chord, C sharp major 9, very simple. Then a 5 chord, I made it through. And then a 6 chord, right? So glad I made it. A 5 as an add 2 chord, and then a 6, I made it through. Here we can either play it as an F minor 9 or simply an F minor 7, right? Sometimes we can include this. It's actually a very common sort of embellishment where we play the 7, the 1, and the 5 under or on top of this 6 chord. So hit it through in spite of the storm. In this case, if we pay attention to the melody, it actually goes in spite of the storm, right? It lands on this 4, so we can actually voice the 4 chord in this way, right? C sharp major add 2, in spite of the storm, the rain, heartache. Sorry, I messed that totally up. In da 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 da. Right, and I really love this other embellishment that we just used. It's basically just arpeggiating the 4 chord, right? So we were on 4, and then we change it into a C sharp major 7, right? That major 7 chord sort of derived from this F minor. And then we land on that 5, which is an E flat. Then a 6 chord again. Now from here, we actually want to get back to the 4 chord, but we're going to do a different type of passing chord, and we're going to do this. Right, we play this melody to land on this A flat 13 sus chord. Now this chord, the way I like thinking about it is simply playing a B flat minor chord, which is the 2, right? On my right hand, and my left hand is going to take control over the 1, which is our main key, right? Or the main chord that we actually want to play, and we're going to add the minor 7th up here to make it sort of a dominant chord, right? And I also like doubling up on the 1 up here just to fill up a little bit more, and then we're back to the 4. Okay, so we finish. Da, 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 da. Now, what did I do here? It's a different type of embellishment that is done on the 4 chord, but it's actually derived from the notes of the A flat pentatonic scale, which would be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, and the 6. We're simply playing them in interval of fourths, right? We're playing the 2, the 5, and the 3 and the 6, and just playing around with those. And then the same thing for the 5, and the 1, and the 6, and the 2. All over the 4 chord. And then we play a 5 chord, and then the 6. And as you may have noticed, for the 5 chord, I'd actually changed the voicing slightly. Instead of playing an E flat major 7, an E flat major add 2, I played this. I like calling it a CCM 5 chord, right? You hear that a lot in CCM music. It's basically the 1, right, in terms of the 5 chord, the 1, the 3, the 4, the 5, and then the octave. It's almost like a suspended chord with the 3rd added to it, okay? Then we land on the 6. And now this part of the song is a little bit different. It goes right. So what we did here, it's sort of substitute the 2 for the flat 7. So we start on the 2 and we play. Right, it's a very common gospel movement where we play these outer notes right here. The 2. It's almost like if we were playing a B flat minor, but we play these notes, then we play the 5 of that 2, which is F. So we play F, then we play the A flat, and then we play the F sharp, right? So, and as you can see, it's almost like if we're substituting the 2 for the flat 7 over the 2, okay? And now here, we're going to play a 5 and then resolve it to the 1, but the voicings is what matters here, right? We're going to play 5, but it's voiced over this 1 chord, right? So, sorry, over this 4 chord, which is the dominant of the 5, right? So, or the minor 7th of the 5. So, and then we resolve it to that 1 over the 3. So, 5 over 4 to the 1 over 3. And like I said in the beginning of the video, these are things that are different concepts that you can apply to other songs, right? For example, instead of ending a song 5-1, or instead of playing a 2-5-1, you can play a 2-5-1. There's different ways of applying things that you learn from one song to other songs, okay? So once again, and I never lost faith in you. Right? Here we're playing a flat 7. And an easy way of memorizing this chord is we're simply playing a 4 chord over a flat 7 chord. All major, right? So C sharp major over F sharp major. And all I'm doing is adding extensions, right? So I'm adding the 9th of this F sharp. I'm also adding the 13th, which is up here, and then just doubling up on the octaves, okay? Now the last chord is actually a 5, but it's voiced in this way. E flat 7 says 4 flat 9. It's a little bit confusing, but all I'm playing here really is a minor 4, right, which is a C sharp minor, over a 5. That gives us this chord, right? And the way that we voice it though is by adding the 5 up here, also adding the 5th of that E flat, right, which is the B flat, and also doubling up on the C sharp down here. And now we go into the part that says, so if you see me cry. Right, so what am I playing here? We're sort of going down chromatically, right? We start off on the 6. Da, 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 da. There's actually something that occurs in the record, right? Sort of a different grace note, right? Or yeah, we can call it a grace note or trill. We're playing G, that movement right there, over this E flat diminished, right? So F minor, E flat diminished, then an A flat over an E flat. And then from here, we're actually going to play a passing chord, starting on this F minor or D minor half diminished, right? Then we go to the G, 7 sharp 5, to finally get to this main chord, which is the 3, right? And we're voicing this 3 again as the half diminished chord. So we did, once again, 6, flat, the 1, right? There's different ways you can do it. We can either do D half diminished, G, 7 sharp 5, to the C half diminished, or we can just simply go down chromatically with this F minor chord and play a G7 to this C sharp, and then finally this F7 sharp 5, and then we get to the 2 chord. And all of these passing chords are just minor 2 5 1s, okay? So minor 2 to the 5, and then another minor 2 to the 5, and then technically the 1, but in this case is a 2 chord, right? In this case, we're voicing it as a B flat minor 9, then we're back to the 6, and then a 4, and then this is my favorite chord within the whole song because it's leading us back to the 4, but instead of using the 1 as a passing chord, we're using its tritone, which is D7 sharp 9, right? Instead of playing an A flat chord, which we actually used before, we're going to substitute it for the D, which is a tritone, and then we're back to the 4 chord. Da, 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 da. Now this chord right here and this movement is simply another passing chord that will lead us to the 2 again, right? The same 2 chord that we used, then we play a 3. So glad I made it. And we're back to the chorus. Now let's move on into the part that says, so glad I made it. We start on the 1 chord, and then some people can either go to the flat 7, which would be voiced as this chord right here. So it's sort of a 1 over a flat 7. So glad I made it. Right, as you can see, it's just an A flat with the add 2 over F sharp with the minor 7th. So glad I made it through. And then we go down to the 6. Or we can play this, right, which was a little bit more similar to the original. So glad I made it. Then we play a minor 5 chord. So glad I then a 4 over 6, and then there's this movement that will lead us to the minor 4 with a minor 6, right? A C sharp minor 6. So those are the main chords, right? So glad I made it, so glad I made it, I made it through, I made it through. And then we're back to the 1. But there's a movement which I really liked and actually learned from the original. So glad I made play the 4/6, and then we do this movement, right? Sorry, messed that up. Sort of a chromatic movement, right? We start off on this A diminished over an A, right? So then we play this B flat over A flat, so then we play this F diminished seventh, right? Because we have the F down here. Then we play this, we can call it whichever diminished chord, but in this case it's an F sharp diminished, right? And then we finish on the C sharp minor 6 over E. So sorry. And that would be basically the whole song. It actually goes up in key, but it's playing the same type of voicings, okay? So what I'm going to do now is play the whole song without any interruptions, and I'll include a MIDI file in the description of this video. And also a quick reminder, I have a piano course available also in the first link of the description in the video, okay?